welcome back to CelebrityURadio.tv. And I'm telling you, here comes Patty Farmer. She's back, and she's going to be talking to Danielle. So I'm going to pass this over to our newest co-host, and I'm really happy to have her, Patty Farmer, and she's going to take it away. So take it away, Patty.
Thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate that. Actually, I really want to announce my guest here. I'm so excited. She's our first guest, my first guest, the first time I'm doing this, Danielle Mohr, M-O-H-R, with Cards and More. I just have to tell you from the marketing standpoint, I just think that's a phenomenal that when your name just kind of goes right in with your marketing. So that's really good. So thank you so much for coming today, Danielle.
Thanks for having me. I'm very excited to share.
Well, first of all, what I really want to start with is your story. Now, I know you for a couple years now, and we all call you the Gratitude Girl, and I just think that story is really good. So why don't you first start out by telling us, how did you become the Gratitude Girl?
The Gratitude Girl, that's just who I am. It's how I've grown up with my family, with my extended family. You know, we were always taught to be appreciative for everything that we've had. We've always written thank you cards around the holidays, birthdays, all of that. And when I stumbled upon Send Out Cards, it became a perfect fit for me. It allowed me to be an entrepreneur, setting my own hours, setting my own business needs around my family. But I had the support of a great company that is about 6 years old behind me, and it took all those things that I grew up with and allowed me to share it with other people on a personal basis, and now definitely with businesses.
Well, I think that's great, because I know that for myself, when I first heard about Send Out Cards, and I love Send Out Cards, but one of the things that I really loved was when I first heard about it, when it talked about your promptings. And at first, when I very first heard that story, I thought, you know, that is so true, because how many times in your personal life, you know, we all know the cards for birthdays and anniversaries and Christmas cards. You know, we all do that.
Yes.
I mean, we all go down to the store, we're all looking at them, spending all that time down there. But one of the things that I really love is all those other times, those just 'cause times. We all love just 'cause presents. We all love just 'cause cards. So the ability to be able to send a card to somebody whenever you're prompted to do it for no reason at all, I think is just what's really great about it. So will you share a little bit about that? Because I think that's what really makes it great.
Exactly. That's the backbone of our company with our founder and CEO, Cody Bateman. It was to act on the promptings. If you check out my website, he'll share the story, but basically that's what I do. It's that immediate action. You hear that prompting, you hear that little voice that says, oh, my neighbor just broke her leg, I should, you know, send her a card, or oh, I just learned that so-and-so passed away, I want to send his son a sympathy card. Well, we all have the idea to jump in the car, go to the store, get that card, get to the post office, but it doesn't always happen. Things come up, you put it on the to-do list, it moves to tomorrow's list, to next week's list, and it doesn't get done. With the unique ability of Send Out Cards in this system is I have that idea. Yes, I jump on the computer and I make my card on the computer, but Send Out Cards then prints it, stuffs it in an envelope, stamps it, and it sends immediately that night in the U.S. mail. So I'm immediately saying, oh, you know, my goddaughter lost a friend. I jumped on the computer, sent her a sympathy card, and included a little angel token telling her her feelings were appropriate. And it was my words. It wasn't somebody else's in a card that I did immediately.
Well, one of the things that I really like is the ability to be able to have it be my own handwriting. And the story that I'm going to share with you is, you know, we just had the Super Bowl. And one of the things that had happened for me is that my daughter came for the Super Bowl. And I've been here for like 2.5 years. And none of my children have come and visited me yet. So I hope they're watching this. But anyway, so none of them had come and visited me yet. But my daughter was coming for the Super Bowl, and she was bringing my grandbaby. And so I had shared on Facebook a couple pictures of him. And Danielle immediately said to me, you should send him a card. And in one of the shirts, on a shirt that he had in one of the pictures was a Superman shirt, and one of them was a Batman shirt.
Yeah.
And we actually got right on Send Out Cards and made this cute little picture. And basically it had wham, bam, and all this kind of cute little stuff. My grandson's 18 months old. And I sent him this card and it said, see this smile? This is going to be the smile. It's going to be on your face when you see Grandma when you get there. And I got to send it to him. Now I know it's going to be in his baby book, and he's going to be able to remember that later on. And I just thought that was just phenomenal, because there was no card at Hallmark for that. So it was really great that I was actually able to do that. And I so appreciate that you helped me with that, as well as being able to go through that whole thing with that new Picture Plus feature that you can have where you can just upload all that stuff. So that's just a really great feature, I think, for this is the Valentine's Day special, so
Right.
talking about just, an easier way to act right now when you love somebody. So
Picture Plus is a great addition to send out cards. You can upload 1 picture, 10 pictures, it doesn't matter. It's the same price increment. And doing your grandson's card was phenomenal. I mean, you had a good feeling, he had a good feeling, your daughter had a good feeling. And that's just that extra touch that I like to do with those that I help with the business, using it for their family or their own businesses, is I'm there to help you with those creative means. So when we saw his T-shirt with those, Batman and Superman things, the Wham Bam and the Pow just kind of went with it. So yeah, it made it personal to him and not just something off a shelf.
right, and I think that he'll be able to have that later on when he's a little older, and I really love that. But then with today is, again, we're talking about Valentine's. We're all talking about love and relationships. Now, for me, the networking CEO, everything to me, besides that, I'm always talking about, relationships. So it's all about relationships, and whether they're personal relationships or whether they're business relationships, I really kind of want to talk a little bit about taking that personal and putting it into your business relationships
Yes.
as well. So one of the things that I think that's really good about send out cards is it allows you to help you to retain those clients, because we all know from a marketing point of view that we spend a lot of our time, we spend a lot of our money out there marketing for new clients.
Yes.
But I don't think everybody spends as much time as they should trying to retain the clients they already have.
Exactly.
So kind of share with us a little bit how you can help people with that.
Well, that's pretty easy. Yes, unfortunately, people do put the focus on looking for those new customers. But if you're gaining 100 customers, but you've just lost 150, you're not making any momentum. With that, send out cards, and specifically with our Cards and More team, we've been able to help businesses put the heart back into it. Self-promotion is something that everybody does, and they're trying to market themselves, but really appreciation is going to win over that every time. So as a business, you've got to think about what you're sending out, and is what you're sending out, are you sending it out to get? Are you giving to give, or are you giving to get, is a phrase that we use a lot, and that'll change your business. If you're just simply sending a card to somebody because it's their birthday, that's going to have a lot more of an impact on somebody than it having a sales pitch in that card.
Especially if you're sending them a birthday card, now it has your business card and you're doing some self-promotion in there too. Yes, it does kind of lose a little bit of its of that prompting part there about what you're trying to do, for sure.
Exactly. So appreciation is going to win over self-promotion every time. And if not for that initial and that immediate person, it might go to that next, second, and third tier referral when their neighbor needs somebody or their best friend needs something.
Well, it is all about building relationships. A lot of times in business, right now you're always hearing everybody talk about the ROI. What's the ROI? What's the ROI? But really, I'm a firm believer in what's the ROR? What's the return on your relationships? That's where you need to be spending your time, because really your net worth is really only equal to your network. So if you are out there spending the quality time, we all know to spend quality time with our family, or most of us do. We
Right.
know that's what we should be doing. But are we spending that quality time putting the love, so to speak, in our business relationships as well?
Right, and the positive thing that I'm getting back from businesses is, speaking of their ROI, though, it is improving. Outside of direct mail pieces, if you think about all the mail you're inundated with, only about 3% of the mail we get is personal. So when somebody is sorting that mail, it's junk, bills, and something I want to open right now. Well, when you get a card from a Send Out Cards, when we print it, stuff it,
I like
stamp
those.
it is a real envelope, printed, real stamp. It's going to end up in that open pile. It doesn't look like a direct mailing piece.
Look
And
how
so-
personalized that is.
Thanks.
Yes.
I agree with that. I think that is putting the personal back in there. So you are building a relationship, because we know that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So you have to build the relationship. So it's all about doing that. So before we move on a little bit, tell us how we can get a hold of you. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, you're right. I do have the perfect name, Danielle Moore, M-O-H-R. So our business is Cards and More, M-O-H-R. And that's our Twitter ID. That's our Facebook page. That's my web page. So
I love
actually-
branding all the way across. That's so good.
Yeah, I married the right man. He's a fantastic supporter of our business. And so Cards and More. And actually for the show, I just uploaded a bunch of new personalized cards to my fan page, or I guess it's now business page.
Correct.
On Facebook at Cards and More. And so you can kind of see what you can do by uploading your own pictures, your own business logo, and what a difference you can make.
And I think there's a lot of things you can do. I know that Realtors, I know, they upload pictures of homes, and when your client buys a home, you can upload one of the pictures there and then send it to them on the anniversary of their home with a picture of that home. That's always a nice touch.
Well, and a lot of the businesses are adding gifts. The
Oh, yes,
other
that's
the other
true.
perk of send out cards is not only are you sending this unique, specialized and personalized card, is the ability to add gifts. And I'm talking gifts from, and we tease about it, but brownies are very popular gifts that we send. But from the gourmet foods to jewelry to things for kids and babies to even gift cards. So if you want to send a thank you note for a referral and you want to put in a gift card to a coffee place or a retail store or even a restaurant, you can just click the include button and we'll, glue dot it inside your card. Looks very nice. I mean, there's nothing additional, but it's just that fee of that gift card that goes with your personalized card in the mail.
Well, I can certainly see how in the networking world, if you have a one-on-one with somebody and it's a really good one-on-one, I mean, how nice would it be to send them a card saying that it was a great one-on-one and put some brownies in there and, kind of end it with something, how sweet it is,
Yeah, nope. Everybody jokes about, how much profit they make off of a box of brownies. So I definitely encourage you just to think about what you're putting out there and make sure that you're giving to give and not giving to get.
That's why I love that Gratitude Girl thing, that Gratitude
me.
Girl. That's her name, that's what we all tease her about, that's what we do, but she does it very, very well. Well, share with us the story. You had told me a story once, and I love this story about your mom and how much she loves with your boys. She has 3 boys, so she's got the My 3 Sons thing going on.
I do.
And how much she loved to play rummy with them. And tell them a little story about how you use that, because I think that's really a good love story.
Well, just with a personal card that we did, my grandmother she played rummy with all of us. I mean, she taught all of the grandchildren, there were 15 grandchildren, how to play rummy. And that was just what we did with her on Sunday afternoons. And when we started having children, then she started to teach the great-grandchildren. Well, my grandmother passed away in July of 2007, and so my children never got to learn rummy. And I sat down with my 7-year-old one day, and he learned to play rummy. And it was a very emotional day, just relating it to what we had done with my grandmother, that I was taking pictures of him, holding the deck of cards and the score sheet at the end. And my 7-year-old sat down at the computer with me. We uploaded the pictures and we sent a card to my mom, so to my grandmother's daughter, but his grandma, about playing rummy. And he sat there and he typed it, and it typed in a kid's font, in a pencil font, but it had his signature. My children have their own signature with send-out cards. And we sent it to my mom in a matter of, 4 to 5 minutes, and she bawled when she got the card. But that's what you can't get at the store. I mean, there was nothing that I could have gotten at the store to make it that personal for that moment.
And those are the things that in the relationship, so whether it's a personal relationship or whether it's a business relationship, everybody does birthdays, everybody does anniversaries. And not that we shouldn't do those. We're not saying that we shouldn't. But it's those extra little touches that you can add to those relationships that I think really make a difference to show that you're doing something a little bit more, that you take that relationship, a little bit more serious, and that you value it. And we all know that nowadays when people are doing business, and like what he said in behaviors when the divorce attorney was here a little bit ago, really honestly, it's all about what's the value that you bring to that relationship, whether it's business or personal. This is a great way to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So what's the most unique thing you've ever heard somebody say that they did, that they sent to somebody, that just something that you just was like, wow, I never thought of doing that? Is there something really unique or different?
I just think the biggest thing is, and it sounds so cliche, but the difference that single card can make. I mean, send out cards, the tagline is changing lives, one card at a time. But you hear it over and over and over how that one card changed somebody's day. Maybe it was the organ player at church who was thinking about quitting, and then all of a sudden she got a card that said, gosh, I really appreciate the way that you play every Sunday for us. And that just said, oh, well, I'm not going to turn in my resignation. Or it's been that somebody had a bad day or somebody broke their leg. I mean, there's just so many stories that every send-out cards distributor probably has that every one of their personal customers can probably attest to. But I love it. I mean, businesses, the owners are writing in their own handwriting because you submit your own handwriting sample, so it doesn't look like it's manufactured. It's the same handwriting you would do if I sat down and I wrote it with an ink
And I love your
pen.
handwriting. Your handwriting.